let me teach you how you go about taking configurations. We have some kind of hierarchy. So for example, here you see that we have info app, info app, info app, and then they have name, description, and version, right? So this is the hierarchy. So info app, and then we have the individual property name. So name, description, and version. So let's learn how to take this and then pull it into a class. So here, let me go ahead and open up the project tab, and let's create a new package. So here, I'm going to say info app. There we go. And inside of info app, let me just collapse all of these things. So collapse that, and then just expand, well, actually this, and then just work with info app. So here, I'm going to say a class, and I'm going to say info and then app. So this will be info app, enter. And now what I'm going to do is say add, and then configuration, and then properties. And then inside here, I'm going to say prefix. So prefix, and if I put this full screen, prefix, and this will be, so the prefix is info app. So info app, or info.app, or in here. So info dot and then app, just like that. Now inside we have the name, description, and version. So here we can say, so here let's say private, and then string name, duplicate that, description, and finally version. And I've got typo, so description, and there we go. Now let's generate the getters and setters. So we actually need getters and setters in here, just like that. And let's also have a toString, why not? So to, and then string. So okay, and there we go. So now you can see that we have an error, and this is because we need to have the annotation processor configured. So here, let me go ahead and open up the pom.xml, and we're going to add a new dependency. So I'm going to say dependency. This will be spring dash and then boot dash configuration and then processor. So that one. And let me see if I added the right one. So again, I always use the wrong auto completion. So configuration. So configuration dash and then processor. There you go. And then that should come from org springframework.boot. And one more thing that I'm going to say is optional equals to true. Now if I reload, so pom, right click, maven, reload. There we go, we all good. Now what I'm going to do is, so inside of customer configuration, so this is where we're actually testing things. So in here, we can inject, so here we can say, what did we call it? We call it info app, or maybe app info, it doesn't really matter. So here we inject info app, and this cannot be auto wired, and that's because we need to basically annotate here with add and then configuration, not configuration property, but add configuration. And if I go back, the error should go away. And now I can just say south and then info app. Now if I reload, just give it a second, and there we go. So if I scroll up, check this out. So info app, and then we have, basically we've mapped our configuration into a class. So check this out. So we have the name, description, and version right here. So this is nice. So basically we can say dot and then get description, get name, and get version. So usually you'd see this quite a lot for bringing, for example, database, username, and URL, and all of that stuff into a class, as we've done with basically this info app, right? So this class here. So you would see quite a lot where you kind of have the database, let's say credentials or configuration, for example, and then you have the database URL, the username, so on and so forth, right? But in our case, I just showed you how to take this and then bring it into a Java class, right? So if you want, for example, to bring everything, so the hierarchy for info, because we have now company here, right? Info, 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 that's the hierarchy. And then we have within info, we have app and then company. We could also break it into a class that has all the information. So there you go. This is how you use the add configuration properties annotation. If you have any questions, do let me know. Otherwise, let's move on.